Hey everybody, I am trying this again. I'm doing this with my tablet today, so it's a little difficult because this thing is a little, well, not a little bigger, but it's a lot bigger than my phone, which is what I usually use to make my videos. So bear with me. I'm reading this poem off of my Facebook notes, and I feel like it's kind of relevant to the video that I posted earlier. So I thought I'd read it. And then I'll probably make another video because I have a little rant today. You know, I'm on a roll. But anyway, this poem is called Covergirl. And I wrote it September of 2011. But I'm going to share it today, January 9th, 2014. And it says, Covergirl, dressed up, beautiful, smiling face imitating the smiles of those around, even though her heart has been broken. No one knows that underneath the designer suit and cinema hat live a little girl, unhealed, made up, radiant. Foundations, bronzers, eyes lined to slant upward, lipstick carefully applied to make her lips seem full like she wishes her heart was. Shadow covers her eyes just like the shadows of her abusers that pass through her soul, and yet no one knows. Head held high as she stands statuesque, a sight to behold. And while she's being admired, she prays that she's managed to contain and cover her shame. See, her mama told her that a woman could cover her flaws and appear perfect before the world, and ever since that day she's practiced that principle. She became a cover girl unknowingly, purchasing the latest beauty products and selling her soul. She sacrificed herself with each application of foundation. With each stroke of the liner, she erases a bit more of the woman she wants to be and settles for being everyone's fantasy. Oh, the compliments are wonderful, but they echo from the empty chambers of her heart. She's been broken, shattered, torn, and left to carry the guilt, the secrets, and the shame. If you used a black light or dusting kit, you'd find the fingerprints and remnants of the men that have settled there. Left her with pieces of souls embedded inside her like a YouTube video on a Facebook page. She replays them over and over again, searching out understanding in the faces of the saints, usually to be met with disdain and judgment. Hurt in the hospital, and so she remains in bondage. Unable to make the two become one, she and the little girl that lingers refuses to leave until someone gives her the justice she seeks. And she looks in the mirror, looking past herself, past her pain. After her application is done, puts on her smile, checks her hair one last time, and walks away, a cover girl for one more day. Now, I shared that poem because, I don't know, I wrote it when I was going through something, and yes, the poem is about me, if you had to wonder. But I spend so much time trying to hide and to cover up instead of dealing with and healing from the things that had happened to me. Until one day I kind of just decided, you know what, I've had enough, I'm not going to do this anymore, and it took some work. You know, I'm not ashamed to say that, yes, I've been in therapy. Yes, I've taken medication. I've done whatever it is that I needed to do to heal. And I don't like having to be medicated or whatever. It's not all it's cracked up to be, but sometimes it's necessary. And with that being said, I feel like some of us need to just be honest about the place that we find ourselves in mentally, emotionally, spiritually, because that's the only way that we can be healed. You know, I think it's Tyler Perry says in one of his plays, nothing ever gets healed if it stays covered up. And that's the truth. But so many times as black people and black women, black families, we perpetuate this facade. Like we walk around like everything is all together. We say things like, what happens in my house stays in my house, and things like that. And so we grow up carrying shame and carrying guilt and carrying secrets and things that were never ours to carry from the beginning, because, I mean, you know, life happens, but if life never happens to the point where you're able to heal from it, then you continue to just allow things to fester, and you continue to be broken, and you continue to not be able to operate at your full potential and the full capacity of purpose that God has ordained you for, that God created you for. And I know that God did not create me to be abused. However, he allowed it to happen so that I could one day get to the place where I am and be able to say to somebody else, hey, you know what? Yep, it happened. Yes, it hurt. Don't ever let anybody minimize your pain. But also don't let anybody make you live in shame about something that you may have done, something that may have happened to you. That's not something that you have to do. It's just not. You have the ability to say, okay, I'm going to wallow here, or I'm going to get up and I'm going to move past this. And moving past those kinds of things it's not easy. It's not easy. I'll be the first person to tell you that it's not easy. There were many days where I sat and I was just like, hey, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. I have attempted suicide so many times that it is ridiculous. I lost count, but I didn't want to be here. It just, and I wouldn't say that, I have a very bad habit of keeping things to myself and dealing with things, or attempting to deal with things alone. And I don't do that so much anymore because I've learned that I allow so many things to fester to the point where they eventually bubble over and it just ends up badly. So you learn from your mistakes and you learn to do things differently, or at least you should. And if you don't, then one day you'll get there. May take a while, but eventually you'll get there. So anyway, I realized the video was getting kind of long, and I didn't realize that I had that much to say. What I do want you to know, however, is that I am praying for you, whoever you may be, that God heal those broken places in you, that he speak to those broken places in you, and that he calls forth the woman that you were intended to be all along. I think it's T.D. Jakes has a song called Talitha Kumi. Arise, daughter, arise. One day you have to get up from that place. You have to, within yourself, say, you know what, enough is enough. And then you have to move on. And if you need somebody to talk to, I'm here. If you need somebody to pray with you, I'm here. Just let me know and I'll do that, because somebody did it for me. And if nobody had ever done it for me, then I wouldn't be able to sit here and make this video. All I can tell you is that love lifted me. Truly and honestly, it took somebody loving me for me to be able to love me enough to say, I've had enough. So, with that being said, I will end this video here. I'm sorry that it was so long. Leave your comments, your suggestions, or whatever. I appreciate all the feedback. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll be back later. Have a good one.